Well, look what we have here. It's our first official episode of the Sour Talk podcast. Okay, this is crazy. But either way, so if you're here, you know it's because we're talking about the newest episode or latest episode of a 90-Day Fiance before the 90 days. Okay, the episode is Ghosts from the Past. Now, I don't necessarily know what number episode it is. Maybe it's episode 4. I could be wrong about that. But either way, we're going to get into it. Now, starting with Mike finally meets Ximena after she damn near leaves him at the airport by his lonesome, looking like a lost orphan child roaming around. But thank God she finally picked him up. Okay, now immediately as soon as they embraced, you can just, it was awkward. It's like you could tell this guy hasn't been in a relationship in this lifetime, because it was just bad. Even Ximena said when she was talking to the producers that she didn't really like the kiss, but she's trying to remain hopeful that maybe, just maybe, the kiss will get better. I'm not hopeful, unfortunately. Okay. But anyway, so during Mike and Ximena's little segment, Mike pretty much goes and visits the apartment that he paid for. Let's be clear. Because he paid for that apartment, okay? He paid for everything in that apartment except for the toothbrush. Everything in that apartment is pretty much belongs to him. So he ends up walking in. I'm like, damn, he's walking into a lobby. The lobby was full. She had her family and her extended family there, which of course probably is to be expected because it's a big thing for her. And it was such awkward dead air as she's sitting there rubbing on his back while he's trying to get the translator app together. What is it with these translator things that they buy that they never work? Okay, he decided to buy one because he said the one on his phone doesn't work that well. But at this point, he should have stuck with the one on his phone, because he was trying to say hi to everybody, and that translator spit it back out like, I hate everyone. So it was like, my God, the translator is out for blood. So it was so embarrassing. You could tell that he was definitely sweating, maybe boob sweat. I don't know if he has boobs, but maybe not. I don't know. But either way, he was definitely sweating like a heathen in church. He was sweating, okay? But of course, her family is troopers. They kind of got the gist of what he was trying to say. So they kind of like laughed it off. Okay. Now, at the end of the day, I feel bad for Mike because you can pretty much tell that she doesn't really care for him, because she also said during a segment that she doesn't find him physically attractive, but it's about the heart, the heart. Okay. Yeah, whatever. So it just didn't make, it just made me feel so bad. Like, oh my God, you need to abort mission and get out of there. Pack up your house and go, because you paid for it. So pack it up, even the stove. You're going to have to disassemble the stove. You can do it, firefighter. You know, you're going to have to try to find a way to get down the plane, because it's just, it's so disrespectful. So disrespectful. But either way, and then of course they tried to have adult time, but you know, every time there's kids around, the kids are the ultimate cock blockers. Okay. So if you want to get out of a date or any type of work assignment, a child, because they're gonna do it. They're gonna give it to you, and they don't care what time of the day it is. Okay, so that was pretty much it for Mike and Ximena. It wasn't a lot. To be honest, I kind of zoned out on what the heck is gonna happen on the next episode. But either way, so next, moving on to, I think next would be Caleb and Alina. Okay, so they start off, of course, in the bed cuddling. And Caleb has on the Fabio leggings, which is very weird, while he's looking rather greasy, laying in the bed, okay? I'm just not a fan of the curls. Not a fan of the curls. But anyway, and so then the kicker, Caleb buys, I don't know, a carrier. Okay, like the one that you buy a newborn if you want to strap them in and take them around the house, the grocery store, because you just don't want to carry that heavy ass car seat. It's like, oh, Okay, the thought is nice, but that's weird. So he's totally like, yeah, we can go hiking and I can throw you on my over my back like a sack of potatoes and we can go hiking. That's exactly the way I took it. It was just weird. Of course, Alina was trying to be nice and like, oh, that's sweet. But it's like, at this point, it just feels like she's just trying not to scare him off, even though the things that he's doing are very questionable, very weird. So the baby carrier just threw me for the trees. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. First of all, where did you find that? Was it Amazon? Was it Wish? Was it AliExpress? There's no way. I do not see those in stores. So I'm just curious where he found the backpacker. Okay. But anyway, as they move forward, Caleb comes into contact with Elijah again. And Elijah is the friend you need because he still isn't having it. He's like, I'm not impressed with this guy. He even talks about the fact that he's not a gentleman. And then Alina turns around and says, oh, you know that American men aren't gentlemen? Excuse me. The men that you deal with are not gentlemen. Let's be clear. But anyway, so again, Elijah just isn't feeling Caleb. He wants to give him another chance, but he is just not convinced. And then we have this awkward dinner that they went to, and Caleb pretty much was irritated that Elijah was there because he wanted alone time. And the kicker was Alina obviously has a secret. She just stopped living with her ex. Now, she said that she had only been dating this ex for 6 months, but I'm going to add tax. You've been dating him for a year because she wouldn't stop looking up at the ceiling. Like, you don't know how long you dated this person. You know, if you dated somebody 6 months, that's a short period of time, but you live with someone. So the time frame on that does seem like she's not being honest. And then of course the camera pans to Elijah and Elijah's just like, I don't remember. Yeah, right. You know, but he probably doesn't want to blow up his girl's spot, which I understand. Be the friend, hold the fort down, die with the lie. But there's no way in hell that she just dated this person for 6 months and you just stopped living with them. So something about that story doesn't add up. But even outside of that, Caleb takes Alina back to the hotel. He picks her up this time happily, but he has some liquid courage. Let's be clear. Okay. And so then they get in the room and Caleb, he is ready to multiply. Damn it. Okay. He is ready to get it in. And I already can tell he's had a few. So just let him have it. And that is exactly what it was. Now, again, I don't remember what the hell they're going to talk about on the next episode. There's so much dead air in these things, okay? I'm just trying to give you the rundown so we can all get through this, okay? Now, moving on to Memphis and Hamza. The language barrier, my God. It is just like, it's a headache to look at. It's a headache to listen to, okay? And it's just so awkward between them, and probably because of the language barrier. But even outside of that, Humza finally breaks the news to Memphis in the car that she and him are not allowed to sleep in the same bed because his mama said so, which is admirable. Because, he's in a different culture, so I understand that. But the irritating part is, yet again, Memphis wants to act all surprised, like, come on, girl. You did all this schooling to become an LPN. And you mean to tell me you couldn't spend just a day Googling, get the cliff notes about the culture you're trying to pretty much marry into? You couldn't even get the cliff notes about it. I'm pretty sure if she Googled it, it would pop up on the first page. You ain't sleeping with this man until y'all get married. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, because mama says so and God does too. And you ain't gonna go against Jesus. No, you ain't. Okay? So it just didn't make any sense. So of course she got mad and she got upset because, she wants to do sexy time because that's the only thing that Humza understands. And poor the driver, poor him. He's like, ugh. He already knew that this was not going to go well. He's just scratching his head, looking around. Okay. But anyway, Memphis finally meets Humza's sister and mother. The sister speaks a little bit better English than Humza, which is good for her. And then the cliffhanger in this situation is pretty much Memphis still stays in Humza's family's apartment. But then they get busted. Now, I did see this. Then they get busted by Humza's mother. Okay, they had the door closed. It seemed like it was nighttime. So she opened the door, and just from what I could tell, they had pretty much just got finished. So Memphis is a disrespectful biatch a little bit, because you know better. And it doesn't make any sense, because she also said that she wants to respect the mother's rules, but yet you allow this debauchery to go on. And you could tell as soon as his mom opened that door, them balls was out. It was out. I could already tell the balls and chain was hanging. And he was trying to tuck the cover in because he don't want his mom to see his butt cheeks. And she knew too, because the way Mama Humza walked off, she was just looked like she could cry. She couldn't believe it. The disrespect is astounding. So that's going to be addressed on the next episode. Okay, that probably is going to be the best part of this. Now, moving on to Kimberly and Usman. Of course, she's still in. Where are they at? I don't even remember where the hell she's at. Either way, she's still visiting him. Okay, they had to show the part where Kimberly is soaking her bunions. I understand. Okay, and then we have Rosary. She is an East African rapper. Her spirit is infectious. Like, this is the girl that you probably want to hang out with. And she did so good making Kimberly feel comfortable whenever she and Uzan were having a business meeting. It was just good energy. But her energy is just so infectious, okay? You just know, like, man, she's a good time. And apparently, according to Twitterverse, her music is pretty damn good. So I'm going to have to listen to that soon. Rosary, R-E-E on the end, by the way. But anyway, apparently, Usman's managers set up this meeting because they want to just maybe collab or for him to get to know her. But she's a star. Usman, you're a speckle. Okay. But anyway, but another thing here as well, the way that his managers came off just seems like that they just want him to be with somebody his age, or let's be honest, I feel it comes across like they just want him to be with the black girl. I just really get that vibe from his managers. And I feel like Kimberly is also catching on to that as well, because she got combative at the table in a way when the managers were talking about Rosary and telling Uzan that maybe you should go meet her. And then in the manager's confessional, he said, I really want them to create a bond. So I was picking up what they were putting down. Okay. And another thing, Kimberly is combative. Like, she is aggressive. She is aggressively wanting Uzman. And even though she said, I ain't like baby girl Lisa, she kind of is. And she just doesn't want to own that. Okay. But anyway, Uzman brought Kimberly to his business meeting with Rosary. So with him bringing Kim to the meeting with Rosary, she really did a good job making Kimberly feel comfortable. And I didn't like the way Usman was talking to the waiter. Even though he didn't have a full conversation, the way he talked to that waiter was just very rude, when he was kind of just like, okay, drop it. Like, excuse the fuck out of me. I will pour this shit down your nose, okay? So it was just, I didn't really like the way that he was being to the waiter who was trying to give him a glass of wine, okay? But either way, that was Kimberly and Uzman. Now moving on to Gino and Jasmine. There's nothing much to this story besides the fact that Jasmine is jealous, Jasmine is insecure, Jasmine assumes that she is the only person on this earth when it comes to Gino. Like, girl, it's Gino. Okay. But obviously, an ass can't buy you class. You know what I'm saying? And boobs can't buy you sense. So, I mean, she is just all over. She's just all over the place. It's not a good look. She gets mad at Gino just because he's married, and she calls his ex-wife the stupid ex-wife, even though it's like the ex-wife hasn't done anything to her. Gino tries to correct her, and yet she still calls his ex-wife stupid. She got to go. I couldn't even do it. I don't even know why Gino even wants to be bothered. Oh, I can't forget. I guess they finally had sex, and Jasmine did touch Gino's bald head. So, she felt victorious when it comes to that. So I guess she feels like, oh, well, I saw his bald head, then nobody else should look at him. Like, okay, girl. Okay, fine. You got him. Okay. But either way, and Gino just laughs like, I don't know, a doll from Chucky. It's very awkward. It's very spooky, especially when he talks about not needing to take the blue pills. It's just like, okay, we don't care that you don't have to take the blue pills. Like, we don't really care. Only you are caring about such things. So there was nothing really there besides the basic stuff. And she's like complimenting him and stuff like that. I didn't know she had got lip fillers, but when you look closer, you can tell. Like, yeah, you put something in there. And last but not least, we have Johnny and Ella. Now, not my girl, Ella, the witching circle is really just threw me for a loop. Like, what's with the witching circle? So she and her friends were doing some type of manifestation circle, as she calls it, in the middle of the day. But oh girl, don't even do it right, because if she was doing it right, she know you got to do that underneath the moon. But you didn't hear that from me. Okay, so whatever. So this manifestation probably gonna get reversed, gonna go to somebody else. But anyway, so we finally get a chance to hear more about Johnny and his story. He starts off with this hazmat suit that he's going to be wearing as he gets set to travel to Idaho. But I think he's going to be stopping in Singapore to quarantine for 2 weeks, and then he's going to come over to Idaho based off what he said. You do see a glimpse of his friends and also his mother. He tells his mother about Ella. He shows her a picture. His mom was just like, oh yeah, she's overweight. I mean, she just whatever. So, and I don't know if his mom is some type of, Thai doctor, or she's just a mama. She gave him some type of grocery list to go to the herb shop to give him herbs that can help Ella lose weight. I don't know if it's going to help, but either way, okay? And it's so weird. Johnny keeps talking about being in America, and it just took me back to Rush Hour when Jackie Chan was coming to America for the first time. I don't know. It took me there. It was just so funny because his reactions and then just being excited about it. But another thing that was irritating was that his friends at the table, one of his friends was talking about Ella's weight, and he about 2 fries away from having a belly as big as Ella's. So I'm like, well, isn't that ironic? Okay, but he stuck up for his lady. He said, look, I want to be in love. And then the crazy thing is, he has a manufacturer's job at a car warehouse in China. Seems like he stays in a pretty decent apartment. So just from what I'm looking at, there has to be something else here. Either he just wants to get out of China, or I don't know what the situation is. Maybe it is for love, because even his friends are like, look, you got a good job. You're rising up in your position. Why would you want to quit? I would have to agree with the friends. It doesn't really make any sense, but who am I? Okay. So it makes me feel like he just wants to get out of China. And then at the same time, he's not bringing his child along. And Ella got really sad about that, because she said she really wants to be a mom. But the vibe I pick up from Ella, it's just a fetish. It's like she's more into Asian culture than Johnny is. I mean, yeah, he likes anime. Naruto. He likes Naruto. Okay, we got it. But she is like obsessed. And it seems like it's more so about the culture rather than the man. I mean, it's just very weird, But anyway, so it just definitely feels like it's a fetish. And Johnny thinks he's going to turn into a redneck cowboy. I don't think so. But he seems like he's up for the task. But anyway, so yeah, that was a quick recap of this week's episode of the 90-Day Fiancé Ghost from the Past. Okay, thank you so much for sticking around, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Sour Talk Podcast. See you later.